Hi, Dark Steel here, and what's kind of interesting is this is directly after filming and editing the Prepper Friday video, in which I did not put a Prepper Tip of the Week, but I came into the house because my office is in a separate building. I came into the house and found the house full of smoke. It's still full a little bit. My eyes are burning a little bit. I've got smoke detectors up. I've got a carbon monoxide detector right by here, so I'm keeping an eye on that. But I've got all the doors, windows open. I've got fans on. I'm venting this place out quite a bit. And in the meantime, I had to work on this because I've got to get it's freezing outside. I've got to get this fixed up, and I got it cool enough to work on. So I pulled that apart, and I'll give you a look inside real quick. Okay. So we had cleaned this at the beginning of the winter season, and that's how much had built up because I guess we were using somewhat green wood, and you can see there's still some smoke pouring through here and everything. I've got fans on, I've got doors open, I've got this place well ventilated, but down there at the end where you can't really make it out in the video, I don't think. But down there at the end where you should see a 90-degree angle going up to the next section of pipe as this goes through the wall, there's just a massive blockage right there of this built-up creosote. So I got to clean this out. I had a pretty good fire going whenever I came in, and the house was full of smoke. And you can see this is still smoking. This is still creating a lot of that smoke, and I'll probably put some more on it. But what I did to put my fire out, we've got two buildings on the place that have a wood stove, and so we collect a lot of ashes that we dispose of. Sometimes we hold some back or whatever, but mostly we dispose of our ashes, and so we had ash buckets sitting around, and I threw tons and tons and tons of wood ash on there to put this fire out. Like I said, I probably still need to throw some on, put some to suffocate some of that that's still smoking pretty profusely. But I was able to put out the fire, completely smother the fire, without doing any harm to my wood stove. I didn't want to spray water in there or put anything that would cause any problems, but whenever I go to make another fire here in a little bit, once this is cooled down, I can just clean out my wood stove like I normally would anyway. So I just thought that was just kind of a cool idea, something that you might enjoy if you run into this problem yourself. That worked pretty well. Like I said, I still need to throw a little bit more on, but I'll do that as soon as I quit filming this. Okay, so I got it all back together. It's all cleaned up. I'm going to show you here in a second the amount of creosote that I pulled out of there. And seriously, it's kind of frightening because I realize that carbon monoxide is a real problem. I realize that I was very, very lucky that my kids were doing chores, so they were outside and not in here. And they would have come and told me if if they were in here and the house was starting to fill up with smoke and everything. But we rely on smoke detectors, metal detectors, smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, and common sense to keep shit from getting to deadly. But all the same, this is a real problem. This is scary. And if you have a wood stove, then I hope you're making sure that the chimney is always clean. Because this one, like I said, I cleaned this out. I had it maintained a month or two ago, and that much has built up in there since then. Now, there's a possibility that there was some clinging to the walls of it higher up, and I don't know, birds or something stirred it up and dropped it down in. I haven't heard anything like that, but that's a possibility because it was all built up there at the elbow. And so there's that. But anyway, seriously, if you've got a wood stove, I know, and I think most people know the importance of keeping the pipe clean and everything. But I just thought this might be helpful to somebody, and I'm very very happy that nothing bad happened, that everything's all right. Okay, so that's the amount of creosote that came out of my stovepipe, and this is a pretty good sized pan, just to give you guys a scale, some size here. That's how much creosote I pulled out of that elbow. And the next thing I'm going to do is the next fire I make, I'm going to put in a creosote sweeping log, and that should knock stuff loose on the inside of that pipe, and then I'm going to have to let it get cool and clean out that pipe again. But then we should be good for a while, and I'll be a little bit more careful about what we put in there. I didn't think what I was putting in there was too wet, but signs aren't looking good for me using the right wood, are they? So when I put everything back together, I was actually able to just clean out some of that ash that I had put on it, and the fire that I already had in there started back up again. So essentially pouring the ash on it like that was like putting the fire on pause so well that I was able to work on it, work on cleaning the pipe. Everything was cooled off, everything, and as soon as I got it all put back together, I just cleaned off some of the ash and it started right back up. So that's fun.